Aloha. It's your favorite friend with questionable character, Aloha Mr. Hand, coming to you on this fine, lovely April 8th, 2022, also known as White Sox opening day, to give you some predictions, some of which I talked about on the Tainted Glove podcast, of which I am a co-host with my partner in crime, K-Fids, and some that I have not talked about on there. And I'm going to break it down into three different types. The first are player awards for the season. The second is business decisions, things that'll happen. And the third is finally, where do the White Sox finish? So let me start with the player awards. Now, there is a bet slip by me floating around on the Twitter machine showing that I put my money where my mouth is when I said that I took Yasmani Grandal as the American League MVP. I think this is the year. He's gotten his legs cleaned up. He looked really good after all that work was done. And I just think this carries over into this season. And he has a fantastic season. Yes, it's very hard for a catcher to win MVP anymore because of the amount of wear and tear on the body. But this is the year he does it. Now, the AL Cy Young Award, I think, is something, and the NL for that matter too, is something that this is the year a reliever can win. Because of the late start to spring training, the shortened spring training, pitchers needing to be extended out into April to build themselves up. This is the year that possibly a reliever can win the Cy Young Award, and I'm going to go with Liam Hendricks. Now, I wanted to bet that, but I could not find any odds anyplace on Barstool's app, on the PointsBet app, on the Rivers app. So, couldn't bet it. I would have if I could have found it. If somebody has it, let me know and I will bet it and I will post it. Now, the business decisions. There's two. One is somewhat short-term, one is long-term. The short-term one can happen today. It could happen a month from now or any time in between, in my opinion. And I have no knowledge of this. This is just my gut feel, and I'll explain why. I think there is a $100 million plus contract coming in the next month. And I think the recipient of that will be an extension for Tim Anderson. Yes, I think Tim Anderson will become the first $100 million plus contract in White Sox history. Jose Abreu is the captain of this team. I don't think anyone denies that. But Tim Anderson is the heart, soul, motor, whatever term you want to use for this team. As he goes, they go. This is perfect time to do it. It's also, if the White Sox can do it right, which is a big if, how I would do it if I were them, if I had it in place now, per se, I wouldn't announce it today. I would wait till Tuesday, and I would announce it as he's being introduced at the home opener. The crowd would go nuts. It would start the home season off on such a high note. It's something that makes so much sense in the world, especially considering they're doing this Becoming Tim Anderson YouTube program in conjunction with Nike. They're marketing the guy. It makes so much sense, which means it probably won't happen, but whatever. So now a long-term business thing I see happening is, we know how MLB works. The All-Star Game in 2033 will be hosted by the Chicago White Sox. And it's a celebration of 100 years of the All-Star Game, since the first All-Star Game was on July 6, 1933 in Old Comiskey Park. And by the way, July 6, 2033 aligns pretty nice, I believe, on a Tuesday. So you could see a 100th anniversary All-Star Game on the actual 100th anniversary of the All-Star Game. But the game will not be played at Guaranteed Rate Field. I believe there will be a new park in place by then. There'll definitely be new owners by then, but there will be a new park in play by then. Now, where the park will be, I have a couple of ideas. I think Armour Park is one possible location. I also think the lots on like 38th and 39th, right on Pershing, is another location. Also consider they might go towards the lake more so too, like where the Olympics were supposed to be held, that area, to try and build that up. Those are all distinct possibilities. The one key aspect of the park is I believe it will blend old and new. It'll be a replica of Old Comiskey Park in a lot of ways, but it will be tilted so that you get the Chicago skyline in full view when a ball is hit into the outfield. I think they realize the mistakes they made with guaranteed rate, and they're going to address those. And also remember, the White Sox had the plans for Camden Yards and turned them down to go with, well, I don't necessarily say it's the White Sox, but the Illinois Sports Facility Authority turned down those plans to go with what is guaranteed rate now, which I think is not the best park in baseball, but it doesn't deserve the rep it gets. My personal opinion. Okay, now moving on to the most important thing. Where do the White Sox finish? I think the White Sox win the division. I don't think it's as easy for them this year as it was last year, but I think they pull through and win the division. They make it to the American League Championship Series, where I think it goes a full 7, and I think they beat the Toronto Blue Jays in 7. It will be a hard-fought series. Don't sleep on the Blue Jays, and don't sleep on the Detroit Tigers either. The Tigers could possibly make the playoffs as a wild card, so keep an eye on them. Now, the White Sox are in the World Series. Who will they play? I think that the NLCS will go 6 games. I think that Craig Kimbrell will come in for the Dodgers in Game 6 and give up the lead and eventually the pennant to the Milwaukee Brewers. I think the Brewers have the pitching to win, not only starting, but bullpen as well. And I think they win the NLCS. So you have the White Sox and the Brewers in the World Series in my prediction. Now, I will say this before I give my final decision, and I think you're going to know where it's going. I will not repeat the mistake I made in 2005. One of the few regrets I have in life is October 26, 2005. Not regretting the White Sox winning the World Series, but regretting the fact that I did not get my ass on a plane and fly out to Houston to see it, because tickets were dirt cheap because the Astros fans knew they were done. The World Series will end in 6 games. I am hoping it will be on the south side of Chicago. If not, it'll be in American Family Field, Miller Park, in Milwaukee. I will do everything in my power to be at that game and watch the White Sox win the World Series in 6 games against the Milwaukee Brewers. That's right, you heard it here. And yes, I do have a prop bet about them winning the World Series too, and I will post that, so you know I'm putting my money where my mouth is. That's all I got. You can catch me on the Tainted Glove podcast with my partner in crime, K-Fids. And also, remember, the game starts at noon today. Let's go out there and start the season with a W. Let's not hope for victory. Let's make it fucking happen. This is the year. Let's fucking do this. Go Sox.